Hello, I'm Bailey Harris, and this is our group assignment for engineering professional skills, where we will be addressing the 17 grand engineering challenges of the 21st century and what problems we can solve. This presentation will be presented by Lewis, Andre, Chris, and myself. This presentation will consist of 6 slides, the first being background research, second being the discussion on selecting the different challenges, third is the current situation of world hunger, fourth and fifth being the solution brainstorm of our current challenge, and the sixth being our final solution to the selected challenge and justification to quality of solution. The United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, more commonly known as Global Goals, are a set of goals created by the United Nations, which according to them are to be a blueprint to achieve a better future for all. These goals, which aim to be achieved by 2030, were published in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and are a part of their UN resolution. These 17 goals are no poverty, which is their goal to end poverty in every form globally. Zero world hunger is a goal set which aims to end hunger, promote substantial agriculture, and achieve food security and improve nutrition. Third is good health and well-being, and are the UN's goals to ensure all people live healthy lives and promote the well-being of all ages. Number 4 is quality education and refers to the goal set by the United Nations General Assembly to ensure equal and inclusive quality education for all people and provide them all lifelong learning opportunities. The fifth is gender equality, which aims to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. The sixth goal, clean water and sanitation, is to ensure that clean water is available and sustainable for, as well as providing sanitation for all around the globe. The seventh is affordable and clean energy, with the goal being to provide modern energy, which is affordable, reliable and sustainable to everyone on Earth. Next is decent work and economic growth, which aims to promote economic growth that is sustained, inclusive and sustainable, as well as creating decent, safe work for all. The following goal is industry, innovation and infrastructure, which refers to the UN's goal to build and promote resilient and inclusive infrastructure and industrialization, as well as foster and sustain innovation. The 10th goal is reducing inequality within and amongst countries. The 11th goal, sustainable cities and communities, and the desired outcomes are that all human settlements, cities, villages, tribes, etc. are safe, inclusive and sustainable. The next goal is responsible consumption and production. This goal is here to ensure sustainable consumption and production for the entire world. The 13th goal, climate action, is their aim to combat and reverse all of the impacts of climate change caused by the inhabitants of Earth. Life below water and life on land are the next two goals and go hand in hand in aiming to ensure sustainable use of the ecosystems above and below water, for example oceans and the forests, etc., as well as reversing land degradation and to halt biodiversity loss. The 16th goal is peace, justice and strong intuitions, which outlines the UN's aims to promote peaceful organizations for sustainable development, provide justice for all, and create inclusive institutions for the people of the world. The final goal is partnership goals, and this development goal refers to the UN's aims to strengthen the implementation of and increase the number of global partnerships for sustainable development.
This part is the discussion on the different challenges. Um, we had to choose from one out of the 17, and we narrowed it down to 5 to choose from. And what we chose was zero world hunger. And what we'll be doing is discussing, developing ideas, and finding a solution amongst ourselves, which can further progress the work that has to be done in order to fully achieve this goal. Other challenges that we was going to choose from was no poverty, clean water, climate action, and clean affordable energy. And we felt like these goals were easily achievable. That's why we narrowed it down to those 5. Um, no poverty is a large issue which is faced globally, and because of COVID-19, we've seen a slow progression in this being solved. Number of people in poverty dropped from 36% in 1990 to 10% in 2015, and the plan was very stable up to the global pandemic started. Clean water is a necessary thing that everyone must have, and it's not just the fact that we need clean water to prevent diseases. We need it to maintain good health as well, because of all the nutrients that's in water. 5.2 billion people have safely been able to manage good drinking water, but unfortunately 844 million people still not gain access to clean, hygienic water to bathe and drink from. And 2018 saw 39 million people affected by the lack of climate change, mainly through natural causes such as hurricane, flooding and droughts. 2019 saw the second warmest year, and now in 2020, COVID-19 could be the direct result in the 6% drop in greenhouse gas emissions. Despite that, a lot of investments, time and energy has gone into the world becoming a sustainable low carbon world. Natural causes can be the only issue we cannot solve, but other issues such as rise, maximum and minimum temperature will be in the hands of everyone who is able to help this goal become achievable by 2030. And with the 789 million people lacking electricity as of 2018, affordable and reliable energy is needed in hospitals and health facilities. And the global pandemic now that we face is the direct implication to see the rise in health clinics not being able to afford energy and being able to rely on energy in places where a lot of people have to get treated for issues like COVID-19 and other issues like health issues that people are having. Already 1 in 4 health facilities are not electrified as of 2018 in developing countries. Zero road hunger is the issue that we want to be finding a solution for, and we feel like this is fully achievable and we will be able to reach the goals solved by 2030.
The current situation of world hunger is that it affects 1/9 of the world's population, with the actual figure being around 690 million people today that go to bed hungry. This currently affects areas such as Sierra Leone, Yemen, Chad, and the Central African Republic, with the latter country having a population of 2.5 million going hungry every day. Therefore, this issue affects certain parts of the world in massive numbers. Not only this, but the coronavirus has added a lot of stress to families who are unable to go out and work, leading to more malnutrition and death, with Oxfam predicting 12,000 people a day could be dying to hunger-related issues caused by coronavirus. Hunger also unfairly targets children at a critical point in their life, with a child dying every 13 seconds due to hunger and malnutrition. If this trend continues, then the goal of zero hunger by 2030 will be drastically off course, with current estimates putting that figure at 840 million by 2030. Now over to Chris to discuss the solutions section of the presentation.
I will be mentioning the different possible solutions to world hunger very briefly. One of the ways in which the majority of the world can aim to combat world hunger would be to initiate more food collection drives. Another way in which world hunger could be solved is through urban farming. Agricultural researchers believe that building rooftop or indoor farms in the middle of cities could help solve the world's hunger problem. Experts say that vertical farming could feed up to 10 billion people and make agriculture independent of the weather and need for land. Much like urban farming, sustainable agriculture integrates three main goals: environmental health, economic profitability, and social and economic equity. The sustainability is built on the principle that farmers must meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Haifa International is an organization that helps transform agriculture. They fund projects so people can provide food for themselves in a sustainable way. Government intervention programs could also help to solve the issue of world hunger, such as those which provide food to mothers and children in poor areas. As many people do not have access to contraceptives or are not educated on reproduction, high birth rates may pose as an issue. Gaining access to contraceptives means a higher chance of family planning and economic freedom, which would in turn reduce world hunger. Access to education could be one of the very many possible solutions. In the interest of world hunger, education can provide better opportunities and more access to income and food. In addition to this, some countries have food for education programs where students are given free food for coming to school. Many families dealing with poverty need help transitioning into a state of self-dependence. 15 Feeds Family is an organization that helps with this transition. They start by providing families with food, but then slowly find solutions to empower families to be self-sufficient. This is important because self-sufficiency allows for a certain food income when relying on donations does not always guarantee food. Reducing food waste is just as important. Currently, 1/3 of all food produced, over 1.3 billion tons, is wasted. Producing this wasted food also wastes other natural resources, requiring an amount of water equal to the annual flow of Russia's Volga River, and creating 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gases. Ending food waste would be a radical shift, but it's one that you can be a part of by simply reducing your own food waste. It's essentially important in countries like the United States, which contribute more to climate change but feel the effects less than more vulnerable countries, to take these steps towards climate justice. Companies can also ask their representatives to commit to reducing food waste on a policy level. Controlling infestations and crop infections is an issue which also must be solved. In the extreme cases, aerial spray is the only way to effectively curb swarms, but other agricultural practices can confront smaller scale invasions or even deadly funguses which can decimate crops. Again, disaster preparedness goes a long way here too, as cash grants and new seeds and supplies can offset lost crops and spikes in food prices. Ongoing forward leap in expanding agribusiness creation is the utilization of robots in horticulture. As indicated by one source, the capacity to picture, reproduce, and examine leaves on a corn plant from 100-meter height, to getting data on the water holding limit of soils, to variable rate water applications, farming practices are changing due to drones. This utilization of robots to gather information would permit farmers to know precisely what each harvest needs at each point in the field to amplify yield. These drones work off GPS and require no human input apart from being set up so ranchers can focus on different errands and gather the information while the drones work by themselves. Another utilization of robots is variable rate fertility. Like the last point, robots can utilize this information so a variable rate application guide can be created to decide the strength of supplement inside the solitary field. A rancher would then be able to decide whether to apply 300 kg per hectare of manure in a striving zone or 150 kg per hectare of fertilizer in solid regions. This amplifies crop creation whilst limiting the assets utilized. One last utilization of drones in farming is one of safety and observing of cattle. Robots can permit simple checking of cattle on large fields as opposed to driving the distance. Cattle can be checked from the air in little numbers, and general security can be preceded just as well as noting the well-being of cattle.
Thank you for watching our presentation on the 17 grand engineering challenges of the 21st century and our proposed solution to world hunger. We hope you enjoyed listening.